What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors, and of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, after the Chicago Bulls' last game, a loss, of course, to the Oklahoma City Thunder, by now everyone knows they did have a players-only meeting. To go along with that, also Vucevic and Billy Donovan did have a mix of words, which Vucevic later on apologized for whatever the things he may have said to Donovan in the last game. Now for the Bulls, of course, going 0-1 is not that bad, but being as though this particular team is one that, they're in throes of, are they going to compete or rebuild? So every game or every loss is just going to, I guess, turn a molehill into a mountain. So that first loss definitely put all eyes on everyone involved, not only Billy Donovan, but every player involved, whether it's Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and everybody else. So when I looked at tonight's game against a team like the Toronto Raptors, who themselves just played a tough matchup versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I say, okay, the Bulls fared well versus them in last year's play-in tournament, but that was last year. They played them in the preseason, but that's the preseason. So looking ahead at this game, I said, what should I expect? Now, Billy Donovan did go with the same lineup that he went with in the first game, which I really didn't like that starting lineup. I think Kobe White should come off the bench in replacement of either Javon Carter or Ayo Dosunmu in a starting role. That's just my opinion. I think Ayo is more aggressive, and I think Javon Carter is more defensively sound and can shoot the ball a little more consistently than Kobe White. Now, also Patrick Williams. I think Patrick Williams should also come off the bench in place of Torrey Craig. I know a lot of people think Patrick Williams is going to turn the corner at some point, but honestly, I don't see that happening for this particular team. I don't think the Chicago Bulls and the way they are put together is bringing the most out of what Patrick Williams may be able to do on the basketball floor. Also, along with Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine. So, to start the game, Dennis Schroeder did get the first basket of the game, but you did see a lot of Bulls turnovers early. The Raptors actually started off on an 8-0 start. The Bulls offense just did not look in sync early. And after a rough start, you seen DeMar DeRozan score. The Bulls were down 12 early. Kobe White had a good drive to the basket. You seen Vucevic start to get into the paint. Billy Donovan elected to put Torrey Craig in, and that's when you seen the Bulls start to get some juice, get behind, the hustle that was Torrey Craig. You seen Vucevic starting to pick up his scoring, and the Bulls climb back in the game to tie it early. You seen Zach LaVine with his first basket actually gave the Bulls the lead. You seen Drummond come in with his offensive rebounding. And after one, the Bulls were up by 6 points by 24-18. Now, to start the second quarter, the Raptors did come out, hit a three. You did see Ayo Dosunmu with his mid-range, and the Bulls did have a 7-point lead at that point. Kobe White did put the Bulls up 10 with a three. You did see DeMar DeRozan adding his offense to the game. Patrick Williams came in, hit a three. The Bulls were getting out on the break, which I like to see. You definitely seen their offense started to stall in the second quarter, which it was a lot of standing around, guys not being where they needed to be. And that's just lulls of the offense. You go 3-minute spurts with no points, 4-minute spurts with no points. And all of those things just helped the Raptors close out the half on a 12-0 run. But the Bulls were up at the half by 42-35. Fairly low scoring half. Very, I'm not going to say defensive, but just not good shooting overall by either team. At that point of the game, it was really anyone's game to be had, honestly. In the third, you seen the Raptors tie it up after they go on a run. The Bulls, again, have another scoring drought. And that was just something that was something that happened last season. You know, I feel like with guys like DeMar DeRozan, with guys like Vucevic, with Zach LaVine, the Bulls should not have to go 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes without a basket. That's just how you put yourself in a hole where you don't need to be, especially if you cannot score. But after being down double digits, the Bulls start to climb back. They find themselves down 5. The momentum start to go the Bulls' way. Bulls tie the game at 63, but are down 3 after 3 quarters of basketball. When I look at the fourth quarter, now this is where things got really, really interesting in this basketball game, because the Chicago Bulls were down. You know, they were down. It just looked like things were not going to go their way in the fourth quarter. You've seen a team that looked like they were beat up. You've seen a team that Zach LaVine never had his offense going tonight. But what I can say about the Chicago Bulls in this particular game, 1 being DeMar DeRozan, 2 being Alex Caruso, they found a way to climb back in this basketball game, especially late, and not only play defense, but also get to the free throw line. I believe they took close to 20-something free throws at one point, and the Chicago Bulls just found a way to grind, and get themselves to actually be in the game late. Now, by them being in the game late, you did see a play where DeMar DeRozan got to the free throw line and was able to give the Bulls the lead. He missed the free throw. The Bulls found themselves down 3. They found themselves down 2 with an opportunity, to go out there and win the game. DeMar DeRozan missed several free throws late, which led the game into going into overtime. And in overtime, the Chicago Bulls, again, found themselves down by, just the Toronto Raptors with their three-point shooting. Scottie Barnes had a hell of a game. Pascal Siakam had a good game. You add in with Gary Trent Jr., Chris Boucher. They did lose OG Anunoby late in tonight's game due to injury. But when it came down to the stretch, like I said, guys like Alex Caruso, who hit basically the game-winning shot because Zach LaVine got the rebound and pushed the ball. And I thought Zach was going to go to the rim, but he actually pushed it to Alex Caruso in the corner. AC knocked down a big 3, and the Chicago Bulls came back on defense, got the necessary stop, and did win tonight's matchup versus the Toronto Raptors by a final score of 104-103. The Chicago Bulls are now 1-1 on the season. Definitely a tough game. The Toronto Raptors are going to be a tough out no matter who they play. And the Chicago Bulls showed that they are able to pull it together. When I look over the box score, the one shining moment, of course, was DeMar DeRozan tonight. But you cannot dispute what Alex Caruso did with a double-double. He had 13 rebounds and 13 points. Kobe White with 17 points. Nikola Vucevic with a double-double with 11 points, 12 rebounds. He did play 40 minutes. You see Patrick Williams, he didn't play that many minutes. He had 13 minutes. He only scored 3 points. But the bright spot for the Chicago Bulls was DeMar DeRozan with 33 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Zach LaVine shot horribly from the field. He only scored 8 points. He did have 5 rebounds and an assist. I'm hoping that, the things that we seen tonight from DeRozan is a caveat on what is to come, especially in tomorrow's game, playing versus a Detroit Pistons team who's retooled. They have a healthy Cade Cunningham now, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Bulls fare in that matchup. As for the Toronto Raptors in tonight's game, Scottie Barnes did have a triple-double with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. You've seen a double-double from Dennis Schroeder with 10 points, 10 assists. Gary Trent Jr. with 16 off the bench. OG Anunoby, again, like I said, did get injured, but did pour in 11 points. You seen Pascal Siakam with 18 points and 8 rebounds. So again, the Chicago Bulls, good win for them. You know, playing versus a tough opponent and going on to play the Detroit Pistons in their next game. I will be tuned in, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. Bulls fans, Raptors fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into the channel, it's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I catch you guys on the next video.